Aloha! Andy with Sugar Bee Homestead Crafts here. It has been quite a while and I'm very excited to be back. I got a job a few months ago, 5 months ago or so, and that ended up taking up all my time and or energy. And I just got my craft room mostly put back together. It's still a little bit of chaos in here. And I'm excited to get back to sewing. And so today I've decided to reattempt a project I did back in December. I made a sunglasses case for my husband. And this was before I had a sewing machine, back when we were still in our hotel room when we first moved here, and I did everything by hand. And it's functional and he uses it every day and he loves it, but it is pretty shoddy. Today I've decided to, instead of doing the faux leather like I did in the original one, I'm just going to use fabric. And this is a template that I got from Pin Cut Sew. And so we're gonna use that again and I'm gonna walk you through it. So let's go. All right, so here we go. Here is our template. If you want to make one of your own, here's the dimensions here. It's a 4 by 10 1/4, and then when you fold to have the flap folded like this, then it's 4 by 7 1/2. So I have already cut some of my fabric out. This one's going to be my outside fabric, and this will be the part that you'll see here in the front, my piggies. And then this is my lining fabric. So I haven't quite cut this out, but so your lining, you're gonna do both ways, the side and then the short way. So because your lining's obviously gonna be in the front and the back. So we haven't cut this one out yet, and I just cut a chunk of fabric out for this one, so we still need to do that. So since this is just going to be seen on the front, because the back piece is this full size piece, right? And then the lining as well. So we're gonna measure this one out. And some people like to just rotary cut around the pattern. I don't, it freaks me out. I make more mistakes that way. So I just like tracing it and cutting with scissors. If it's a pretty straightforward pattern with all straight edges, then I will just cut with the rotary cutter. But I just like to be precise. As you can see, I keep drawing on my pattern. Okay. And then these ones are already drawn over here. So I'm just gonna grab my scissors. I use these awesome Guggenheim scissors. They're like, make sure all your fabric feel like you're slicing through butter, even though I've never cut butter with scissors. So I don't know how accurate that actually is. Okay, so this is our 2 lining pieces. I'm gonna go iron this one really fast. Okay, and then this is our back piece and our front piece. Okay, so now we need some fusible fleece to make it padded and squishy. So I'll put this over here. And we need 1 piece for each of the pieces, the different sizes. Okay, so this is fusible fleece, so we're just gonna iron it on when we're done. So you can just take 1 piece of each of these and put them on here. I don't know. Yeah, this might be the only way I can do it. So I'm just gonna trim this. The rotary cutter for that. So let's see if I can do this with the rotary blade, because scissors just take so long.
One eternity later.
Okay, so we're going to take our front piece and we're going to, if you have the iron-on fleece, then you're going to iron this on real quick. Okay, that's ironed on. And then you're going to take your lining and you're going to put it face down. So both right sides are together. And then we're going to stitch across the top. All right, so we've got that stitched across the top right there. Okay, so we're going to flip the lining over the front. And we're going to go press this, and then you're going to do another top stitch, 1/4 inch top stitch right here. Okay, I don't think I showed you it folded right, so you're going to want to make sure it goes, it's even in the back obviously, right? So bring it back here, and then there should be like just this little crease right here. Okay, and then now I'm gonna go press it and then sew 1/4 inch top stitch here. All right, there we go. So, okay. Okay, so now we're going to baste this all around to keep all the pieces together. And we're just gonna baste inside the 1/4 inch seam allowance. So that you don't have to like remove any basting stitches because they're showing. All right, so I'm gonna go do that. I got that basted. Trim my little threads off. Okay, so we have our lining. So this is a good time to put the Velcro piece on. Okay, so I like to use these sticky ones. So it just makes it easier. So you want the rough side on the outside, so when you're sliding your glasses in, you don't accidentally scratch them with the rough side. So do about 1.5 inches from the top. Do that. Trying to eyeball the middle here. Let's see. That's about right. Okay, so I can stick that on, and then you're gonna go and stitch it around just for extra strength. Okay, you guys are probably all screaming at me and telling me I was putting on the wrong side, so I sewed it this side and then I flipped it over and I'm like, oh, this sucks. You can see this stitch on the back of the case, and not realizing that this is the lining, and you won't see this side. And so anyway, I fixed it. I turned around, it goes on the back piece. Okay, so we are done with this for now. So we are going to now take our lining, and we're going to attach it to our fleece, or our fleece. So if you have the iron-on fleece, then go ahead and iron it on. If not, then do a basting stitch all the way around, or you can do both if you want. I'm just going to iron mine on. All right, so that is ironed on. We're going to take our backing section here. Oh, actually I need to trim this up a little bit here. Okay, so you're going to put this face up and you're going to baste it all the way around. So now you're going to take your backing and you're going to put it face down This isn't directional, but in case yours is, then you're gonna put it face down on top of everything. And you're going to clip it or pin it, however you like. No, it's missing. Sorry. Seeing which one lined up better with the back. Doesn't really matter. It's all gonna get trimmed up anyway. Okay, and then you're gonna pin it or clip it, however you like, and you're gonna make sure you leave about 3 inches on one of the long sides for turning. So that's about here. So do like, doesn't have to be exact, obviously. And I'm gonna take a pin and just mark it. So I'm gonna start here, back stitch, and go all the way around, and then stop here and back stitch. So this is gonna be my stop. Now let's use orange for stop. So I'm gonna put this in here to know this is where I'm stopping. Okay. And then this one is gonna be, so I like to do it from this side so you can see where the base stitches are. Make sure you go on the outside of it so you're not revealing any stitches. Okay, so let's go do that. All right, so we got that done. We're gonna trim our stitches here, and then also to reduce some bulk, we're gonna trim this up around the corners. Just make sure you don't trim where your opening is, so make your life a little easier. Now we're going to turn it right side up. Alright, so that looks real nice, doesn't it? So you're gonna take, uh-oh, did I mess this corner up? Darn it, I don't know what I did, but this corner got messed up. Okay, so it looks like I may have a little bit of a mistake here, but I don't know that I can fix that. I might be able to with some needle and thread, but you're gonna go take this over to your iron and roll the corners where they're supposed to be and steam it out. Get any turning tool that you have, push those corners out. I think mine are probably pushed out pretty good. So I'm gonna go steam that, and then we're gonna stitch this closed by hand. All right, so we got that pressed, looks nice and neat. Now we're going to stitch this closed with, I believe it's called a ladder stitch or an invisible stitch. And I'm still learning this, so I'm not super amazing at it. But you should have, I didn't mention it, but you should have like turned this and pressed these down too, so they were better looking. And you're just gonna grab a tiny bit of fabric. I like to go down a little deeper for my first one so my knot gets buried. But, okay. And you're just gonna go across to the other one and just grab a tiny bit of fabric. I don't know if you can see that. Grab a tiny piece of fabric at the top. And you're just gonna go back and forth doing that, just grabbing a little bit right in the fold. And it creates this kind of ladder going back and forth. I want to grab too little to where you're just pulling the fabric out, but like I said, I am not quite an expert at this yet. We are going to do our best here. The cool thing is like you really can't see anything. There is any stitching. You can still see the seam, but you can't see any of my thread. I'm gonna tie a knot and bury it. Okay, actually I'm gonna try this little, it's a little hole right here in the corner. I don't know what I just did with my needle. Seriously, Mandy, you just chucked a needle and lost it. Here it is. Okay, tie my knot back in it. I'm gonna see if I can fix that corner where the, I don't know if I cut it too close or didn't sew it properly, but there's a little hole. Wait a second. There's a little hole. Right. I'm trying to get the camera line up right here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I'm gonna try and stitch that up. But same process here. Okay, I think I got it sealed up, but there's still, let me see if I can trim this tiny little piece off. It's giving it away. I think I may have done it. So, make a knot again. All right, so the last step is to attach the last piece of the Velcro. So I'll take this off. I like to make sure it's gonna meet up here. So fold this down, stick it, and then I'm going to go stitch this on. Okay, let's trim these off. The moment of truth. Ta-da! I'm gonna give this one more good press, and then we're going to see how my glasses fit in there, and then compare it to the one I made by hand about 6 months ago. All right, so here is the finished product. I know the background's changed. I moved over to my desk because my phone died. I need to plug it in. So this is the finished product. I think it turned out so cute. I love the combination I chose to use. There were some small mistakes. Now I can't, this tiny little stitching showing right here. And then a hole kind of broke through up here, but I was able to stitch that mostly together. But if you look really closely, you can tell this is handmade, and there are some flaws in it, but I am really happy with the way this turned out. So this is my second attempt making this pattern, and I used just regular cotton fabric this time. The first time, and a sewing machine. The first time I did this, I used this fake leather and this, I think it's called Cuddle fabric. It's really soft and fluffy. Which my husband really likes this because it kind of cleans his glasses as he takes them in and out. But as you can see, the stitching is not amazing. And then along the edges, you could see inside and see all the stitches that I made the first time. I mean, and it's like that all the way around, and I absolutely hated it. I thought it was just the ugliest piece of crap that anybody's ever made. It was so bad, but my husband, he really likes it, and he's used it every day for the last 6 months for his glasses. So these are his glasses, and we're gonna see how they fit in the new case, which he'll probably not use because it's too cute. But There we go. They fit just right. So, ta-da! I'm pretty happy with that. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support, and I hope you try this, and please send me your finished product so I can see your fabric combination that you chose. So thank you so much. Love ya.
Sugar Bee, like and subscribe.